6-0. All right, no public comments?
None.
Come on, Dory.
Sorry, you didn't sign up before.
We are not letting you speak.
Approval of the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes, bills, and let bids for tires and propane. We don't need to go over all those, do we?
Not what you want to.
When it says the policies and procedures, that just means the board policies, those.
That means I'm gonna give you these.
Oh, okay.
More.
Sir, more.
All right.
And this will be to review for the next one, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for
I make a
printing them.
motion.
I appreciate
Yes,
that.
thank you.
That's easier for me.
So we won't have to vote, if we approve the consent agenda, we won't have to go over those, like lunch thing or anything else?
It was,
Not unless you want to discuss them, talk about them.
Anybody?
We're just letting bids, right?
on the
On the
tires.
tires.
On the tires.
And propane.
Prices.
Lunch and breakfast prices are in there, they're being set. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna sell, unless somebody wants to discuss it.
Does anybody want to discuss anything on the consent agenda? If not, we'll have a motion.
You need a motion?
You got a
Okay.
motion, Terry, you need a second?
Okay.
Did you,
What?
you want to discuss the?
No, we're good.
We're already good. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
6-0. Program evaluations, athletic program. Who's doing that one? Jari?
Good. Everybody get everything okay? Spring is in there. We wrapped up the budget as far as spring semester goes and then the overall year. Anybody's got any questions?
I read it. So many questions. How many are on the track?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. We probably had upper 20s girls and mid-30s boys. Had a good year this year.
I noticed that. Is that pretty decent for now?
It's not bad, yeah, about normal. We've had lowers and we've had higher, but that's solid. I mean, we got, when I was looking at the event sheets, we had 2 per in every event for the most part, so.
That's good.
Yep.
Well, I did notice, our standing in the sports, you know, compared to the other Big 8 schools was, I mean, we ranked 3rd.
Yes, we,
So, how's that ranked? Because, I mean, is that based off of just conference games?
it's based off conference games and they only use the athletic events in which all schools participate.
Oh.
So like, we don't compete in wrestling or golf, so those events are out, or those sports are out. So the only ones that are counted for conference points are the ones in which everybody competes in. So, and boys and girls. So when I got that back.
Is it this page? What's it on this page?
Yes, ma'am.
Just those sports?
Yep. Coach Bradley, Dale Bradley's the head AD and he's the president of the conference, and he keeps track of all that stuff, and he shot that email out to everybody at the end of the year, so. I looked in the past, 10 years, and this is one of the better years that we've had, so.
Yeah, that's good. I thought it probably was.
Yeah, I mean,
3rd against some of those guys, yeah.
absolutely, because we've got a lot of talent in the conference for sure, so I think to be ranked third overall is.
I had a comment from a coach over in Monette saying that our football team's actually doing,
Yeah, they did well, 7 on
Did well,
7.
7 on
They
7.
really did, yeah,
Yeah.
so far, summer stuff has been,
Yeah.
pretty good, so, good numbers from what I've been seeing, so.
Where did our other coach go? The football coach, where did he go?
you know,
Oh, Miller.
Oh, he went to
Miller.
And he came from Marionville?
Mhm.
Is that right?
No one's where he lives.
your family.
Well, actually, we seen Miller at our jamboree first thing.
Oh, really?
We'll see him again.
Do we have schedules out?
I am still,
Yeah.
they're
They're
not.
on their desk, they just got here today.
Good, thank you.
I've been, with the big one, I've been back and forth. Coke, I think, may have gotten those.
Yeah,
Coke's the
that's
one
Coke.
I got.
Okay, the other ones, the big posters, I've been still editing back. They haven't, every time I fix something else they send back to me is messed up, so we've been back and forth, so.
I kinda like that, that's a nice piece of information.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you for that.
You bet.
Jordan? Jeff?
It's sent everything out in the packet.
Go over a little bit of your program concerns there on the curriculum.
Yes, just the fact that curriculum's never completed. You're always adjusting it, tweaking it. And it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be different for the next few years. The new test will come out this year for language arts and for math. We have no idea what it's gonna look like. It's supposed to be based on the standards they've given us to align the curriculum to, but we still don't know anything. And so you just have to make tweaks and adjustments along the way there. We're also right in the middle of rewriting all of it. This spring we'll do, or this fall we'll do science, rewrite that curriculum. In the spring we'll rewrite social studies. And so we've got everything on loop. Some of the schools decided, when I talked to you last year, some of the schools decided to write all 4 cores the same year. And it doesn't, I don't think it hurts high school teachers as bad, but it'll kill your grade school teachers, because they're having to write all 4. And I know Neosho did it, and they were very dissatisfied. The teachers that we hired from Neosho, one of their biggest complaints was the fact that they had to write all 4 cores at one time. Well, the state stair-stepped the testing, so you didn't have to do that anyway. So we decided to I thought it was a smart move on our part to just write 2 per year and really spend some time and do collaboration grade level wise and vertically as well. So that's always a concern. As far as science and social studies, I kind of addressed that. We're doing some changing right now in 6, 7, and 8, because what we've done in the past, we either kind of did physical science or we did biology or life science. And we kind of threw in some earth-based science. The problem was we weren't getting a little bit of it in each of those grade levels. And by the time we get to testing for 8th grade and 10th grade, we're missing it because they haven't had it. There's gaps. So they'll do physical science, life science, physical science. Then they have that life science test. Well, it's been a year since they've seen it, a whole year. I can't remember my password when I come back from summer break. And we're asking them to remember what the cell does and what the membranes do. And I think that's very difficult. So we're going to adjust that for 6th, 7th, and 8th so they get physical science, life science, based on each year.
Okay.
And I think that's going to help them a lot prepare there. I mean, we'll see. We don't see that test for a whole another year. We're going to pilot it this year, but we won't actually. Yeah.
So we will be part of the pilot, or do we know who the pilot people are?
Don't know.
Not yet. They typically will send something out, say, hey, do you want it?
As far as the last one, loss of the reading specialist, reading's just got to be a key component. And as far as with the professional development, when we talk to our teachers about reading, especially on the lower levels, we've got to do something. I mean, we're going to have to do something special there. We've got to get our reading to a point where every kid can read well. We have to. Because, I mean, honestly, you can synthesize some of that for social studies. You can hear the dates and remember some of it. But ELA, math, and science, if you can't read, you're not going to do well. You're just not. And so the librarians and I have even sat down and we even talked about, we looked at AR again. We looked at various kinds of programs, just looking to see what we can do to beef our reading. And not just say we've beefed it. Not just say, well, kids are checking out more books. Well, okay, well, if you force them to check out books, that's going to increase that number. That's not rocket science. But when we really sit down and give them time to read in the classroom and make sure they're doing it and learning it, and then when we have our RTI time that Mr. John spoke about last time, we take those kids out and actually work on their reading skills. That's when it makes a difference. And so those are some things we're going to have to address. They just have to be addressed. So they're not concerns as far as things I'm worried about. Their concerns they're just things we're going to have to meet.
Have to work on.
You bet. We've got to meet those needs. We've got to make some adjustments. And I'm actually excited about it because I think we can make some big leaps in our scores and other things.
With the reading specialist, what do you see as maybe one of the, or what is an option?
Well, some kind of a reading program. Because what happens when you have one person doing those DRA tests, the subjectivity is pretty narrow because one person is grading those, if you will. When every teacher's doing their own, You know what I mean?
Oh, I know
That-
exactly. I
That
don't-
creates that, and so there is an issue there. So we're gonna have to look, I think, at some things, and maybe not a program, but just a way to get those things done, and minimize the subjectivity where we can really score them correctly, and then meet the need after that. RTI, use RTI to get them where they need to be.
It's gonna be a work in progress. I mean,
It will be.
It's not,
It's never done.
well, that one's gonna be even harder to.
Right. And that's one good thing, I think I can address some of that
Oh, I
with
think it'll be
PD.
fine. Yeah.
We've already talked about it, Bill and I talked about it, so we're all on the same page. I mean, I am excited, I think there's some real opportunity to make some big changes for the plus. It's just gonna, it's just like everything, it's gonna.
And a lot of those things is the reading part is not gonna be a big dollar thing. Do you
No.
agree? I mean, it's gonna be just.
It's a
the
classroom thing.
management.
Right, it's a classroom thing. It's
Okay.
taking the time, making sure that we've got some time in each day to really focus on reading.
And you are gonna address it during the PD days?
Yes, sir.
Good job.
Thanks.
Good. Yep.
Need a motion to approve the valuation.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor? 6-0. Report, financial reports.
Okay, you had in your packet, sent with you was the May cash flow, so that was just ended just about the, you know, we didn't have this information for the May board meeting, but you can see revenues, that's including state and some other categoricals, and tax, a little bit of tax money probably coming in, delinquent $950,000, expenditures $1.1 million, and then our balances in each of those accounts. The teacher's obviously going to have a big one because we've got to get rid of that here, well, I already have. And it'll show up in this next slide. Okay, so what you do when you balance out or you get rid of the teacher's fund, any of the money that's left in that, you zero it out, we put it over in Fund 1. And so we've got revenues of 1.3, a little bit of revenues in debt service and then capital, and then all your expenditures. Of course, that's a big number there, but you're paying June, July, and August checks to the teachers, and so you've got that out. So big expense right there, zeroed it out. Total balance is 2.2 million and 1.8 million in Fund 1. So that's cash flow June. We'll have a little bit of miscellaneous nickel and dime stuff probably as far as revenues coming in, because interest on your checking accounts, things like that. When I say nickel and dime, it is about nickel and dime. You can't live off of your interest anymore.
No more 10%.
No, we got none of that. So those revenues will change after tomorrow. So kind of your revenue and expenditures totals. I highlight them in red there of all the negatives, and then of course we spend a big chunk of change right there when you finish out all of the expenditures for the teachers and teacher pay and salaries. So state revenues, total revenues 973, 2.6 in the expenditures, and then a total negative 3.9. One thing that you need to remember on the 3.9 and why it is 3.5 million of that was bond expenditures. Okay, so when we get to amend the budget, I'll kind of explain to you. That's really shocking, but you got to know that there's a large chunk of that come from expenditures that we had. So it's kind of the overall Prop C revenue. This is June. June came in at 122. Last year at 88. So 1.4 million. 1.4 million were $20,000 difference right there in the Prop C revenue. That can kind of give you an idea. 1.2 and 13-14 to 1.4. So kind of shows you a shift in the economy a little bit because that's your sales tax revenue. Classroom trust money, total 527 and 538. And again, all depending on how they speculate the gaming revenue is going to be, because this is always an estimate. 51 versus the 36 the month before, and you can kind of see what we've done at June going on there. So closing out the books, we'll finish them out tomorrow. Joyce will get all the little bit of interest coming in, so, there you go. Good.
Okay. The old business, second reading of the 2017 A policy updates.
Yeah, second reading. Didn't get any emails or any calls or any questions on those, and so does anybody have any, briefly, real quick, go through them, school board vacancy issues. That's probably, then there's suspension of staff members, which deals with, you know, legislation. Graduation requirements, pretty set in stone by DESE. Interdistrict transfers regarding the Senate Bill 638. Personnel records, suspension of staff members, and then graduation requirements with CPR, which we already do. A plus schools, governing board of higher education, and then references with the ESSA. So,
Are we making any changes?
no. No, we can hold off on those and do those till July if you want to.
I read through all of them, and I wrote down a few things, but couldn't find the paper I wrote them on. It must not have been that important.
Well, this is only second reading.
Second reading, you're gonna wait on it, I mean,
You wait till,
you might find that, you might find
I
that
know,
page
I've
in
been
July.
looking for it, trying to figure out what I did with it.
All right.
It wasn't anything major.
All right.
Anything major.
well, then we can wait it.
Oh, I know, I'm fine with approving them. I just had minor questions, I can still always ask them.
Yep,
Well, then
okay.
if we want to approve them, we can have a motion to approve them.
So moved. Is that-
Mhm.
Any other discussion? All in favor? 6-0. Took care of that one.
Very
didn't
good, very good. Lessen your workload next month.
we? Student insurance.
Okay, this is something that's done annually, offer student insurance for the students, and it is through Lawrence E. Smith and Nationwide.
Oh,
It's on your side.
It's on your side, yeah.
That's why I put it over there, so we don't just like.
And we usually hand out the information, and also we have to put a link on our website so that parents can go to that. So this is the same insurance we've been using, so,
Cost the same?
oh boy,
Now, is that the one?
that I
we
don't,
used?
I'm not sure on the
Gotta
cost.
get my keys.
they're just not very high, or they
No.
used to be.
No, it wasn't very much, I just didn't.
Basic school time coverage, $29,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's
For
25 when
the
the boys
year?
go to school, so.
Mhm. 24-hour protection plan of 105
That's pretty good.
for a whole year.
For the whole year, whole school year.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Every parent should buy it.
Yeah.
You need to make a motion?
Yep.
I make a
Yeah.
motion.
Wow.
I'll second it.
All in favor of approving the student insurance? 6-0.
I guess that's the best one we found, or this is very.
About the only one.
It's
about the only one, yeah.
That's
Not
what-
much out there.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
They
that's,
don't have any complaints?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we had complaints, it wasn't.
it was cheaper.
Now, the 2017-18 budget.
Yes, 27-18 budget. You guys have got it. I'll do with it. Yeah, I sent that out earlier, and that just kind of basically, obviously, you know, budget's kind of a working plan for the school year, and that is based on giving everyone, the staff, as far as it could move over on the salary schedule, their years of experience. It also adjusted with the insurance adjustments, there it is. And it also, and an explanation there as far as the estimated expenditures, the word estimated needs to be emphasized there. Those are estimations if you're going to spend every dime in every one of those functions. So it looks to me like you're coming out about $388,000 in the negative, and that is, needs to be noted that that's using a SAT target of 6,180. We got paid this month at 6,198. We almost got paid at 62, so that's a conservative SAT. But one thing to be noted, if you were to budget 6,200, that's not gonna get you $388,000, that's gonna get you about $45,000, so that's not that big a jump. I budgeted summer school at 62.6, it's gonna come in at 63 something, so I'm a little low on that, so that's gonna be a little bit better. And your Prop C revenue at 98.5, and then your props, or not Prop C, but your classroom trust 405. And those are pretty conservative numbers, but they're real close to what we're getting about right now. So you always, about October, November, those numbers will slide up a little bit, so. $13.6 million in expenditures and $13.2 million in estimated revenue. And I only did about a 1% increase in assessed valuation. And what I'm hearing is it's in the counties around us, it's up. Assessed valuation's up. So that too could be a little bit of icing on the cake as well, so.
You see any way of making up that 388?
Well, I think that 388, staying within those budget numbers, will probably be around 245 or something like that. Because again, you're spending every dime in every one of those areas, and you're not going to do that. I amended the budget earlier this week in transportation fuel. We say what I budgeted, we saved almost $40,000 on fuel. I budgeted $40,000 more than what we spent. So I anticipate with 4-day, you'll get to
Quite a bit of that off.
start knocking some of this stuff off. So, just the thing you need to do is just play pretty tight, and
This budget was off of a 5-day schedule.
What
Yeah.
does this do to our reserves?
I would say this budget, when I plugged it in, was 14.19.
14.1,
Yeah,
we kind of talked about that
yeah.
before.
But it's gonna depend on, and that's gonna depend on, your reserves are obviously gonna depend on what we
Right.
stick in Fund 1, Fund 2, and Fund 3 from this budget, so.
I guess the bottom line, after looking at all that, we're still going to deficit spend some.
You're gonna, overall,
No matter how we do this, even though
Yeah.
we're gonna change and move some, we're still gonna deficit spend some.
yeah, you're approving a budget that's got more expenditures than revenue.
Right.
And you,
But we are gonna save some on the 4-day.
yeah, and we know this, and I don't know how many other people know this, but at a 275 levy and 75 students less,
That's a huge cut right there.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've got our work cut out for us next year, don't we?
Yep.
It is a whole lot better than it could have been.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And, the governor, they're already talking about shortfalls and withholdings. The 6,180, I kind of banked that. Because if I'd have gone out and said, okay, it's gonna be 6241, and now he turns around and does withholdings, that helps you right there, the 6,180. That,
Rumor
makes
has it
sense.
he is going to withhold.
Yeah.
Okay,
Have
you
to.
heard that same
Yeah.
thing?
Mhm. Yep.
So when people start complaining, we just say, you're welcome.
Yep.
So what about the complaint department? Have you guys had any complaints, 4-day week, insurance, anybody said much this go around?
I haven't.
I haven't had
Have any?
any this time. Mandy?
I haven't heard nothing.
Eric?
It was quiet this time.
Okay.
They got all their yelling done earlier.
I think they're
Yeah,
all right
right.
now.
So,
Okay, we need to approve that, right?
Yep.
I make a motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Well, I don't like deficit spending.
Right.
Really don't like it. I think our reserves are better than they were last year, isn't that? Or is that about
We
the same?
last year,
Are we 13?
no, we were,
So we're
Where's
still
this
going
sheet?
down.
yeah, it's on that, I took it, it's on that red sheet over there hanging there. Jar, do you mind looking at that bottom, that right there, bottom left? where all those figures are.
Should be reserves.
14.6,
14.6.
14.6, yeah.
And we're at 14.1 this time, right?
On
But the-
this budget,
Yeah.
But with the 4-day, we are gonna save some money, we just don't know how much
Yes,
yet.
yeah. What you don't know is you don't know what 16, 17 reserve will be.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the one that's up. Yeah.
All in favor?
I guess really none of this is a surprise to us, you know, we
No,
knew
no.
this,
Want
we
to.
knew this was coming.
Well,
Don't
right.
Don't want to.
No.
Don't
like it,
remember
but
that.
that's the
Don't
way it
want
is,
to.
I mean, that's where we are.
Well, we can't, it's hard to overcome that 75 student loss. And then, really, like we talked about before, we've overcame 300 student loss from back in '07. Because we had 1,650 at one point, now we're at 1,300.
But, and then you take the transportation that the governor withheld, it's not gonna give back, you know? We
The
just-
thing that you can, thing you'll look at probably in September and October when kiddos get here is potentially could be estimating your ADA. So if our enrollment increases above 1340 or 1350, something like that, then I'd look at estimating your ADA, which you need to get paid on. So you wouldn't get paid on what this budget, you could get paid on what,
That one.
The estimate,
on the estimation.
Does that help out some?
Yeah,
how about much? Could, potentially.
Could, yeah.
Okay. Extracurricular salary schedule.
Yeah, I've included in the package, the last couple of years is just the extracurricular salary schedule, making sure the board approves that and sees that. This is based on the base that we've had the last 2 years, so none of these have changed as far as percentage numbers. Some of them have been taken away because we don't have those folks anymore.
Right.
So that another was a cut, so that cut some expenses as well. So those numbers are exactly the same as last year, and they go in line with the budget that you just approved, so.
So,
So we don't need
so
to
this
say-
says 16, 17, but it's the same
Yeah,
for
it's-
17
Yeah.
and 18,
Yeah.
just to get changed.
So do we need to like take any, like the concession stand or anything, do we need to do anything with that, take that off or anything?
We're not assigning them right now.
No.
They're not
No,
going to be
this is just-
assigned, because we can wait and do that in
This is
July.
just a
Okay.
general.
Yeah,
Right.
if we had someone fill those spots, that's what they would
Oh,
earn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're gonna,
Yeah.
we'll, okay.
I move we approve.
Second?
And they strictly get a base off the starting salary.
It's always based off our base, yeah, not, yeah.
All in favor?
main basis. Yeah, right.
6-0. Amend the budget?
Okay. The budget ended up in expenditures of $17.7 million, okay? And the revenues was 13.8. And I can give you the total figures if you want to write them down. If you want to, expenses, $17,702,625. Revenues, $13,800,764. $800,764. That is a difference of 3.9 million, which you saw up there. And obviously the 17 million in expenses was $3.5 million, almost $3.6 million in bond expenses. If you take that out of the equation, you deficit split $322,000. Okay, and we've done that before. And then the next year, we're to the positive $124,000. So if you take that out of the equation, kind of gives you kind of a feeling of what you're looking at for next year, 322. So, that's, you can stay in line with that. So that's what the final expenditures are. The revenues, like I said, you might add some change to those revenues when Joyce adds that, but that's what you'll close out at. So.
I need a motion to amend the budget.
I move to amend the budget.
Second.
Any discussion?
Don't like it, but that's where we are, and so we're at that, there's nothing we can do at this point.
Well, you like spending the 17 million, don't you? Because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
3.5 of that
It's
in
just-
bond.
Yeah, it's just that 320,000.
Yeah.
Are all those projects done?
Yep, completed.
The solar panels are sitting on the roof in.
Yep.
Are they? I hadn't even seen that. Good.
They're not installed yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
They're not working, they're just in boxes.
Oh,
And those boxes are hot.
everything was
What
ready.
about the ones that were sent back?
Or they
Yeah, we
say-
sent some back.
Damaged
They just
boxes.
sent, well, they sent them back so they had them restacked better in the truck so we could get them off. They couldn't get them off where they were stacked in the truck.
And so right as
The
you
next
said,
day,
they're
they
not.
sent them back.
I thought some were damaged.
They could have been.
Packages,
Oh,
package damage, if they were afraid they were gonna be damaged if they took them off.
Yeah, because once you take them off, then,
You're
Yeah.
not.
Hard to damage them things there.
Yeah, they had them double stacked and the top stacks looked like this. The guy said, I'm not pulling that out there, cause I'll have to pay for it if I pull it out there in the weather.
yeah.
I didn't blame him
I
one
don't
bit.
blame them at all.
But all the roads, air conditioners got done, all of that, air
Did we already
conditioning,
do that?
roofs got
We
done.
still
We just
got,
need to
we had
have
that
a
one, went
vote
down
for
Rock
the
Valley
amendment.
one day,
Vote for amendment
got it on
budget.
order, well, we got it in, I
Vote
don't know
to
what we're
amend
in.
budget.
So what's that gonna be? Cost us? Yes.
Vote to
Yeah.
amend budget.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
It, about 3,000 for that one.
Passed.
They're on the work.
And you're going to stay on task.
No, I just didn't know.
Judy and I got this, it's like passed.
So your budget wise for the summer, you're way over, or you?
I'll slap these two.
Well, that's not gonna help, I mean, that's, last year, 3,000, it's not gonna go up to last
We
year.
need to get violent.
It's gonna go up. Yeah, it's not gonna help that.
Just
That's what I was gonna
Violence
say.
proves nothing.
There's nothing to try with, it's just
Just yell, just yell.
And when I
That
have a choice
doesn't
to
happen.
put
Okay, next.
that or,
Can use them.
they got two.
Time and dates for the board meetings. Anybody have any problems with these board meeting dates?
I won't be here in July.
You won't be here the 20th?
20th of what?
July. That's the only one.
Mm,
You said the 20th of what,
For
man?
July. Next one.
Okay,
yeah, I'll be pushing it, I think I can make it back. I'm in job, I'm in Carthage till 5.
I'm coming back from Jeff City, so I mean, I will be here, but it's gonna be close on time.
No votes until 5:45.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be-
Well, do we want to move any of them? Or
I'm doing that one.
And just remember, the board policy does say that they're on the third Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I
I'm
mean,
fine with it.
it's fine to move it, I don't care, I just want you to know that is written in board
Yeah,
policy.
I think
And we
that's-
have already changed a few of them just because of, Mr. McCracken knows how those fall for superintendents and stuff.
Yeah, there's
There's some Tuesdays on
The
there.
Tuesday
I'm good with all of
reorganizational
them except
meeting.
next month, and I'll be
Yeah,
here, but it'll
that
be,
December,
Can you do Tuesday?
December would be on the break day,
Tuesday be
so.
better for you?
It's not even better for me, but.
no, it's no better, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's just go Thursday.
Well, I'll
and-
just be here and I can wear different hats.
There you go,
Terry.
yes,
There
okay.
you go.
That works. Still
I will
better.
be here, but I'm gonna be right on time, I mean, right on time.
Okay, so, need a motion to approve the date then?
Yep,
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 6-0.
did you vote?
Oh,
I didn't see your hand go up.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's-
think that.
She's fast, she's a quick draw.
Yeah, I need a motion to go into closed session pursuant to RSMO 610.021,
Yeah, that one.
paragraph 3, employee.
Second.
Okay, I've never got the right
Camera
thing
off.
before.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.